Hello, YouTube. As you can see, I've started to make a template for this window, even though I haven't replaced the bottom beam yet. I typically have to do this stuff like when I get home from work, which means I'm tired. It is starting to get dark again soon, but this has got to be done or it doesn't get done. And believe it or not, I do have cardboard here to try to make a template. But I have something better than cardboard. I have foam insulation, the old one that's not being used. Thin sheet, but not enough. So I'm going to show you what I'm doing to make it work. I do appreciate those of you on the channel who are giving me advice and suggestions, because we are now caught up. Your suggestions are actually applicable, although I'm still ignoring some of them. I know people suggested using newspapers to make the template. That is actually a very awesome idea. You could lay out the sheet and then go around and draw around where because you can see kind of through it or feel through it and cut it out, and it would be perfect. The issue I'm having with that is I don't have newspaper handy, and I want to get this done. I don't want to run to the store, buy newspaper, come back. It's going to be dark, and then I have to wait another day. I'm trying to get this done ASAP. The other thing is all this stuff here. You see, I didn't move all of it. I only moved some of it into the hallway because I don't want to move this whole bunk area back and forth every time because I'm going to have to do this again. I still have to put up a little piece there and then put the ceiling up. So I don't want to move this 20 times. It's heavy. I can poke through the TV and break the TV. We've seen what happened when my foot hit the TV when it was inside Little Blue too. We broke the flat screen. I don't know if it was my foot or the door hit it. Something bumped into it. These flat screens break as soon as something presses on it. But anyhow, even this needs like rubber feet because it kind of slides out. And see how it slides like that? And I can fall because it's slick on the bottom. Wood against that panel is slick. So it needs rubber stoppers, which I need to put on there, but, don't have the time for that right now, even though it's really not safe doing this. But you can see I cannot even get up here to work on this. Ideally, I have all this cleared, and I can go lay down, and I can draw all this out, and make it all perfect. But the way it is, I'm actually leaning over diagonal on a ladder that can slide out, trying to brace myself so it doesn't slide out. It already tried to slide out several times. But I took one of the leftover or pieces of foam that I'm going to be throwing away here soon, and ended up making a template for but it wasn't wide enough, so it only made like the bottom half. So you can see I made a bottom half, then I made a top half. The top half, what I did was I flipped the bottom to cut the angle. That's why it's backwards, and it goes on like that. The problem is we're short. We're still missing that piece over there. I don't know if you can see, we're missing the piece on the corner here. Sorry about this bad camera work, but it's just me here at a weird position. But you can see this is how this goes on here. And you can see it doesn't reach the end. So how I'm going to do the end is I'm going to flip this over like that to match up, where it needs to go. Then I have to draw an imaginary line to connect the two. So what I mean is this. This is our template. And we know it goes like this, so this is about correct. We just need to make sure we cut it in the exact perfect spot on the board, or I'm going to ruin that whole panel. So we get it just like that. So that goes that way. But see how we have a gap here because we're missing a piece? I could get another piece and make it, or I can just do this. Flip it over like this. And see here, I just draw a straight line. Now, do you understand? I draw this straight through, and that'll make the curve right there. So that's my template, even though it's kind of weird looking. Now, I have the panel. I think the panel's here. I think I cut it and brought it here. Yeah. So this panel's here, and I need to measure it and get it exactly lined up with that hole, or I'm going to have a problem. So that's the dilemma right now. Trying to figure out where everything goes and how it's going to line up. Because you can see there's all these little pieces that jut out, and it's not even. See, this side's not even with the top side. There's pieces that don't line up. If you had a perfect cardboard template, you could cut it, and even then when you try to get it in, there's pieces that jut out and are in the way, and I still have to patch the holes up there. But I just wanted to get this done, and I didn't want to cover up the window. I wanted to make sure I left an opening for the window. I contemplated just covering that window and not having a window up here, but then thought this bunk bed area here would end up looking like a cave. So we're going to go ahead and leave both windows exposed. And I thought of putting wainscoting on the bottom part, but then didn't have any spare wainscoting. And I didn't want to buy another panel. I'm that cheap, yeah. I don't want to spend another 20 bucks or something for the wainscoting. So we're going to go with just a panel. And even this piece doesn't go all the way across. So I'm going to have to cut another triangle. That's how cheap we're doing this whole thing. The idea of this RV, we don't want to spend $10,000 fixing it up. Okay, the thing was bought for $1,200. I didn't plan on spending more than $1,000 more fixing it, you know, because when it starts hitting more than that, it's not such a good deal. Because you could pick up an RV that's in pretty decent shape for $5,000, $6,000 to $10,000. And if we started hitting $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $9,000 fixing this RV up, that was not good. Okay, so if we can keep the whole cost of the RV under $3,000 total, $2,500, $3,000, we did really good for what we're going to end up with. And I think we did pretty respectable. Okay, it's not totally done yet. But the RV is looking like a lot better than it did when we first got here. And you know, once I get it done, hopefully you guys will see what my vision was all along. You know, it's slowly becoming what I envisioned, although I've had to obviously adapt several things, and I've decided several changes have occurred that I'm, you know, in the design, which I'll talk about when I do the reveal. But we're almost at the point of me finishing it up, and then soon I'll be able to show you the reveal of the interior, at least as to what it looks like, you know, once the RV is pretty much done. Then I can concentrate on living instead of constantly repairing. You know, I'm exhausted every night when I come home because this is what I do. I work on the YouTube, I work on the Facebook, you know, the administration of the Living in a Van Facebook page and group, and then I work on the RV, and I'm also trying to do other projects. But that's where we're at right now. I do appreciate all those comments. I know some of you may be disappointed that I didn't run out to get newspaper, but I figured this will work too. There's a lot of different ways to do the same thing, and since all this styrofoam is going to have to be tossed, you know, I don't really feel like saving it. There's really no room. I'm trying to clear this RV out and all the boxes and stuff that I have. I contemplated saving these foams because, see, this is the hard, thick stuff that's really nice. You could carve things out of this. Wanted to give some to my son, but he said, you know, he doesn't have room at the house either. So, may end up having to toss it all, although I might try to save some for some projects, for some crafts that we might do with these. Because, you know, I used to be pretty crafty. But anyhow, that's the idea. We're going to take this piece. This comes on this end. Flips over like that. And draw an imaginary line diagonal. And we got the other end. And I just need to measure now where the placement goes. And hope I measure correctly and then do my cuts. So stay tuned. By the way, because some people enjoy seeing them their names in print on YouTube and me calling out, I thought I would go ahead and thank all of you who took the time to post and comment on here. Thank you, Old Gringo, for letting me know you'll be catching up. To your named Mad Max. Suggesting using a cardboard template. That is a good suggestion, but I ended up making one out of styrofoam. About the same thing, easier to cut, lighter, and something I was going to throw away anyways. And Claire, I do know what you're talking about, because I was talking about that on my video, and I do appreciate all the help and encouragement you've been giving this channel, and I know you've been working behind the scene to help this channel as well. Once again, Wyatt also said that a cardboard template would work, and I think that's an old lady. An old lady? This is the first time I figured out what your name is. I always thought it was an old laddie. It's an old lady. Are you sure? Anyhow, wanted to thank you for your suggestion to use newspaper. That's, to me, honestly, that's probably the cheapest way and the easiest way to maximize the paper, you know, the space if you want to get an exact size template. But they also sell like butcher's paper, but that may be more expensive. I contemplated using aluminum foil again, like we did, to try to line up the holes here, but then I saw this almost flat piece that I'm going to be throwing away. I figured, you know what, I'll just go ahead and do this even though it's not wide enough, and I'll just put it together and do a little Frankenstein thing because, why? Because this is the, what is it, the Tim Burton construction style. We don't do things right, we just do things however. And it doesn't have to be perfect, it just needs to be good enough, right? So let me go ahead and try to measure this and then cut it out. And then we'll try to see if we can't place it in, and hopefully we didn't screw it up too badly. By the way, I just wanted to show you what goes on in reality versus what you see on YouTube, okay? I know some of you were asking if I could take the handy-dandy pink assistant, my camera assistant, and film me working. But I don't know if you can see how cluttered and messed up it is and how long it takes. Even pausing here to do the video, it gets dark, and I'm like with limited time. I don't have an assistant other than that handy thingy, but it takes a while to set it up. But even as I'm working on that, this AC started leaking through here, and it started pouring all over the floor. You can see it's all wet. This is while we're working on that wall, mind you. But this is the kind of stuff that happens in real time while you're working on the RV when things aren't totally fixed yet. Okay, so of course I had to stop doing that to come over here to deal with getting this in, trying to make the water flow better. You can see we got water all over the thing, and now it's wetting my panels, which is not good. So this was leaking while I was filming, and I didn't see it. So when I came over here, I stepped in the water, and I was like, oh my goodness, it's a swimming pool over here. So that's why that camera is not set up on a tripod right now. Eventually, maybe when the RV is settled and everything's nice and neat and I can be more organized, we can set up the camera nice. I've got a nice 4K camera that one of the viewers sent me. I haven't even done an episode on that yet. That may be used in the future for doing that kind of stuff. But I'm just trying to explain to you why it's not set up, okay? Because I'm kind of documenting things, and it's just me here. I have to film, I have to do the work, and I have to deal with stuff like leaking AC things. Yeah, it's just flowing and just making a huge mess here. So, see how fast it's dripping now? But basically, this is what happens almost every day that I'm here working. When you see me on an episode filming, there's other stuff going on, like leaks, bathroom leaks, things like that I'm having to deal with sometimes concurrently while I'm filming. Like in this case, that's what's happening right now. We're dealing with this, getting ready to measure and stuff, and there's a flood that I have to suddenly take care of. But that's what happens when you're, trying to renovate stuff. Things happen. You just got to deal with it. The concern is, I'm filming, and of course, I could normally on a lot of the episodes you won't see me stop to show you. I deal with this on the side in addition to doing the episodes. All this extra stuff, like we're still dealing with the ants crawling around there. But basically, I deal with things as they come up. And I don't film everything that happens, just to try to keep the story consistent, of me working on this part. But the reason I took that little side trip to show you that was because I thought about, like, some of you wonder why I don't use a handy-dandy assistant. I think it was Moonchild or something. Was it Moonchild? But that's why, because it takes time. I'd have to set it up. Then while I'm working on that, it has to be adjusted or moved. You won't be able to hear me from that distance, and you won't see much. You'll just see my butt in the air. Well, you might see me fall, which has happened. That's why I got to put rubber feet on those things. But I hope that clarifies for you, and that you understand that I'm not ignoring your comments and stuff, and I understand that people want to see me work and stuff, but until I have everything situated and not going to fall and kill me while I'm working, I'm just trying to document so you guys can see the whole process. And, you know, this channel kind of shows you what we can do, what can be done, but it's not really a how-to. If there was how-to, it would all be pre-staged and set up and written as a script on what I would film and what I would cut and what I would do. This is being done ad hoc just to document for you what's going on. And you can learn how to do things by watching, but if you really want to learn how to do woodworking and stuff, I think there's like channels that explain that, and even like measurements and things like that. And a lot of the viewers, like you can see here, give really good tips, like using newspapers and stuff. An old lady. So, thank you all for taking the time to comment. I am going to go ahead and try to measure things and get it cut, and we'll see if we can't get that portion somewhat up tonight. I still need to fix the framing, but I just want to cut the window out for tonight and then see if I can't find the framing. Otherwise, I have to go buy some more wood, you know. I got to find a piece of wood that'll fit there. If I can't, I have to buy new wood. So we'll see what happens here. Stay tuned. Alright, just wanted to let you know what I did. I kind of measured it from the bottom. I went from the bottom up and from the side out. But you can see, I have to kind of guess because I think I'm going to line it up right up to this point right here. The edge right there. And this isn't straight. So the best way is to make a real template using newspaper and cardboard. If you have the time, if you have the money, if you want to make it look nice. If you're like me and going for the Tim Burton look, do what I do. So I measured this height up. Hopefully it's good enough. And I measured it over this way, hopefully correctly. And we're going to line this up. See the little dots there? That's the bottom. And then the edge here needs to touch right there, just like that. So once we have this lined up like that, see how we've lined it up with the lines on the bottom and the edge right there? We'll be able to trace around it, and that gives us our template for the bottom part. So let me draw. I'm going to take the pen and just draw along the edge here, and then start that up, and then I will finish the rest of it and show you what it looks like here as I do that. So you can see how Denoy constructs stuff the weird, wacky Tim Burton way. Okay, so I took the pen and I drew a line all around the edge. So there is our line. I don't know if you can see it that well. That is the line where we're going to try to cut. But it's only part of it. So now we got to do the other part. And we got, is that a spider? It's a spider. Oh, I hate killing spiders. So I can't have him living on this. Let me pause this. I got to take him outside. Try to get him out here, but I can't open the door. By the way, what you're looking at down there is, remember the air mattress that I told you went flat? Yeah, I'm using it as a mat for entry mat because the sand and stuff that they have here otherwise was coming in all over the floor. So putting the vinyl air mattress out there as a mat helped to reduce that problem. And you know, that air mattress is flat anyway, so it's useless for anything else. It costs about $15, $14. I had looked at mats that they use for RVs that you place out there for walking on before you come in. They're like $79 to $150, which is ridiculous. I'm like, why would you spend $79 to $150 for something to throw on the floor, on the ground, on the dirt? And the stuff's just like some kind of weave stuff that's like, I think, a straw-like material. But I'm using the beat-up old mattress, and I might throw it away or I might take it with me, depending on, you know, what kind of shape it remains in. That was $15, and it works great. So, anyhow, so we got this other piece here that we're going to do the top. So we line that up like this, see? And we're going to draw the edge. I got to make sure that this is lined up. I'm just eyeballing it. See how I look here, and I'm looking at the line. I'm looking at the distance here. This should be parallel. And then what I'm going to do is draw the edge around here. Then I'm going to come here and connect that. And I'll show you how I connect that. So from a broken template, we're going to make a complete window template. I mean, window cutout, in theory. So let me draw around the edge here and then show you what we end up with. And no, it's not going to be perfect. Remember, we're going for good enough, and we're maintaining the Tim Burton architecture, style of architecture. Just so you can see, I've drawn the upper half here. And it's not straight because this part was wobbly. But now you're like, well, what are you going to do now, Denoy? You can't finish this part. Sure I can. I just flip. See, this was used this way to draw this corner. I just flip it this way. And then what I have to do is I have to extend this line out. So I gotta get a straight edge and then just extend this angle up. And that's what I'm going to do next. And it's got to connect to this part right here. So it's going to connect right there because we're making this little missing part. So what I will do is extend this out a little bit. And I figure it'll extend out up to about that line right there. Because that's where the corner junction is. So we're just going to extend this like by doing this. And I'm going to draw the line going right up to here. See how I line that up? So I'm going to line that up right up to there. That's where the joint will be. So I've extended the line out this way now. And now we put this here, our template, and line up the top. And we want to line up this curve right here to hit like this. And then we're going to draw the curve. And that's how we do the window. So I don't know if you can see this. This is lined up like that. The curve looks good. I'm looking at the edge here. I'm basically lining it up with this line. See the line? Follow the line. And then we're going to extend this curve right here. And that's what we're going to do. So here we have our perfectly lopsided, weird window cut. Now I'm going to go outside and cut this. So what I'll do is I'll start with making a little hole. Then I'm going to follow the line. Cut this out. Bring it in and shove it up there. And hope it fits. We will see. Alright, just wanted to show you how our window cut out here. Just so you know how I started it. I took the saw and I went like this and I started it. I don't know if you can see that. Then I tilt it down slowly. And then, you know, it slowly cut a hole there. Then I went out like that and went around. So I just cut around, and now we have supposedly the window. We're gonna find out if I did a good job or not here. Cross your fingers. Well, I kind of shoved it in there, and you can see it is slightly off. The bottom, I might have to shave off a little bit from the bottom, although the top is fitting good. The bottom is up too high. See, it's not. But if I go to the top, I would end up leaving a gap. So I might leave it just like that, even though it looks pretty bad. This is kind of pretty bad. So I think it's good enough. The window is blocked off. It's not going to be visible anyway because there's going to be curtains there, you know, or something. Curtains or blinds or something that will be there to block that. So you don't need to see it looking perfect. Remember, we're not going for perfection here. We're just going for good enough. What I'm talking about is see the gap here. So I mismeasured quite a bit. I could lower that down a little bit by lowering this portion, which I might do, just to make it not look so bad. I think I might do that. What I'm going to do is just cut off about a quarter of an inch here, or a little bit less than a quarter of an inch, like 1/8 and 1/6 of an inch, maybe a quarter of an inch, to shift the whole thing down. There's too much of a gap at the top, and the bottom's not lining up. But that'll leave us a gap at the roof, but that's okay. I think the wood will hide it, so it won't be noticeable. I think the gap up there is like almost an inch. I don't know if you can see that at the top. It's a little bit under an inch. That's a little too much of a gap. So what we're going to do is lower it down here by cutting it a quarter of an inch along the edge, and that should line it up better, even though it'll leave us a little bit of a gap at the top. And we still need to do the end there, the little triangle. And once I get this in and lined up, and I could mount it right now, but I need to put a little frame under there, which I haven't done yet. Let me go fix this and see if we can't get it to fit better. You can see that our adjustment made it fit even better, almost perfectly now. I had cut off about a quarter inch, half an inch. It's not like perfectly flush is what's going on, and I'm not bothering to make everything perfectly flushed and level and flat and straight, just because I don't want to spend all day on this. and I'm not that good a carpenter, and I just want to get it done, and everything's already lopsided. We're sticking with the theme. But you can see it's almost lined up correctly right now. It can shift over that way towards the front a little bit, which I'm going to do by trimming that corner. See how it's hitting right there? I'm going to cut off a diagonal and let that slide in. And then this should line up fairly well when I finish. It's gonna shift it over by about 1/4 of an inch. And then it should be lined up. But there is a gap at the top, but that's okay. We're gonna put the drop ceiling, another beam, and this side will be done, other than the front, which I need to cut a triangle now to close that gap, just to even off the wall. And this other side we're not gonna bother trimming because it's already, you know, it didn't leak over here. So you might be wondering why I'm leaving it with the wood panel on this side and the other side like that. This whole front cab's gonna be painted. So it doesn't even matter, you know, that I had the grain, I bothered to put it the same way and all that. That doesn't really, it's not critical. But it is going to be painted. So this whole room, this is gonna be a nice little special room, you know, for my daughter or my son when they spend the night over. So it'll be nice. So look forward to seeing the reveal once I get all that done. I may try to film some more, showing some more little repairs before we do the final reveal. So look forward to that. I want to thank you all for tuning in, and I want to keep encouraging you to post your suggestions down below when you see me post things up like this, because people do watch these videos years later. Or hopefully, you know, YouTube will still be in business then. And they could benefit from all those comments and stuff that you put up. So until next time, everyone, take care. Thank you again for your kind words and support. And those of you who have been letting the videos run and running the ads and running the playlist, it is truly, truly appreciated. That is what's generating income for me to live off pretty much, because, you know, my job right now, all the income is going into paying for going to work as well as child support. I don't really make any money on it. Matter of fact, I lose about $50 to $100 each month going to work and paying child support. It's because the gasoline is so high for the distance I'm traveling right now. So the only income I have is YouTube. And of course, the donations that people have been sending. So thank you, those of you who have been contributing, those of you who are on Patreon. I plan on doing something special for you guys. You guys are basically paying for the live streams and even the productions that other people are enjoying. So truly call out to you guys on Patreon. Thank you so much for your support. And for the regular viewers here, if you want to help me out, make sure you go over to the Pay It Forward channel and click on that to subscribe, so we can try to hit our 1,000 subscriber count, so I can start doing live broadcasts from there. The other thing is, you know, if you continue to run the videos and let the playlists run with the ads and stuff, that will help me out a lot. Until next time, take care. God bless you all. Please stay safe. Bye-bye now.